Hey, hi y'all. Hi you guys, everybody. I feel like I've just put this off. I've wanted to do this for days. Anyway, hi. Um, it's so good to be doing this, and I hope for you too. I heard from several of you that you were wishing where's the videos, and wondering how we're doing, and just kind of wanting a video. So that's really nice. I thought I would show you this picture behind me so you won't wonder what is that. Let me give you one look. Isn't that awesome? So I like it because she's in the wind, in the strong winds. I bought this when we moved in the house, and this is my art room, and she inspired me. And yeah, so that's what that is. Anyway, it is evening-ish. I will need to go eat dinner pretty soon. So that's what I'm doing. Since we've been home, I would say it's been, okay, this book says the title of how things are going. Shadow and Light. It's pretty much how it's been, although it has been, oh my gosh, the experience of being home is okay, say it used to be shadow 80%, 85%, light 15, I don't know. And now we're at 60-40, 60% light, 40% shadow, something like that. So I am going to try to kind of talk about things in that way, but I didn't plan it, so I'm going to wing it, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to tell you a little shadows, a little light. So, we came home really close to Thanksgiving, and we stayed pretty cheerful. I was glad when the whole Thanksgiving weekend was over, though, because then the whole world was back, or the nation was back without their families. And we didn't have to feel a little lonely. But anyway, our kids and grandkids, Sarah, I told you, well, it happened. Sarah, Sergey, Isaiah, Simon, and Mila, and even Leo came at 9 o'clock at night. They drove up in the driveway, and they started piling out of the van, and Craig and I came out, and we stood on the doorstep. We didn't really, it was like, what do we do? But we were like, hi! And because we had to stay social distanced, remember? Oh my gosh, it was heart-wrenching, but it was so wonderful to be in their physical presence that it was so worth it. It was fantastic. And we have big, huge windows in the front there that look in on our living room and our dining room, and you can see into the kitchen. And I don't know why, but it just occurred to me, do y'all want to come look in the windows and see the house? And so we all went in the bushes and I tried to stay, 6 feet apart, but we felt more in a confined space and more together. I did, and I think they did too. We all got much more bubbly, and just, it was really good. But one of my grandsons said, "Close yet so far apart." And he had a bit of emotion, and oh, I just so affirmed him. I was like, I know, that's exactly it. So that was pure, well, almost pure light, because it was just so good to be connecting. I felt like I connected with in my eyes, eye to eye, with each of my grandchildren, and man, did I need that. And our grown kids are just the best, and they were just so awesome. So anyway, that was great. Let's see. Well, this is good. All I can remember are the high points of back then. Craig and I went and got our Christmas tree early, like the earliest we've ever gotten it. And it's like so beautiful as a tree this year. It is the most lovely shape. We always go get a fresh tree. And it's a noble fir, and they generally are quite beautiful, but they're often stacked. But this one is full, and it's just looks so healthy and vibrant. And so we left it, and Craig couldn't get the lights on for a few days. And but we enjoyed it, just looking at it as a beautiful, dark green, luscious tree. And then Craig got the lights on, and he put on 1,200 lights. I don't know how many lights y'all put on. We just happened to count them because we had bought new lights. And it's so magical. And then a few days later, we decorated it with almost all our ornaments. Usually we have to leave some off, but we just stacked them on, and they're from, our whole lives. We haven't thrown anything away. There's all this stuff that's like little construction paper things that are kind of torn or whatever, and a shape of Louisiana that is kind of melted, stuff like that. But they're still beautiful and have so much meaning. So having the tree has been very helpful, because most days I struggle in my mind. It's just hard. That is the shadow. It's killing me sometimes. It was killing me in Dallas. It was killing me. It's just so interesting, people's brains. I probably see them categorize things too much this way, but our brains affect so much about how we're experiencing our what's in this room, what I'm doing, what activity I'm doing, if I'm being still. If there's a big old cluttered mess in the brain, well, it's not so great. And it's, I have little control over it. It's just a running commentary in my head. And I've always had this, but with scleroderma losing so much, and then starting cancer treatment and being even more debilitated. It just, and then going to Dallas and having no life except for that hospital we would go to all the time. Either for the clinics, for the outpatient clinics, or for being there. It just, I think my brain is struggling more. And one thing is, you just don't have good things in your life to distract you and keep you busy. And so that stuff is louder. So some days have been worse than others. Some days, I don't know, maybe I'll come back and describe a day, because that's pretty much the shadow part of things. Well, maybe that's not all. Okay, so I'm glad I'm talking to y'all. It helps to know that I'm sharing it and that y'all care and that I'm not isolated and alone in it. I mean, Craig is always here, of course, but we're so one, you know? So anyway, let's see. So we, so we were very disoriented at first. Oh my gosh, we were so disoriented, as you can imagine. And we kept saying baby steps, just, you know, each day things are getting a little more normal. Baby steps. Don't put too much pressure on ourselves. So so what I've done is I've tried to I've written in my journal at the end of a day some things that I remember from the day that were special, that were joyful, that were light. And, you know, and some days I'm like, I know that there were a few other things and I've just forgotten them. And so it helps me to remember that I'm not feeling that, oh no, oh, sorry. I'm not feeling that shadow stuff 100% of the time. You know, God brings me relief. I just want relief every waking minute, 16 hours a day. What, you know, I want relief. I want to just like have this dark cloud go away and just see life and do life and be motivated about life. I know, how could one be after all we've been through? But Craig's brain is doing better than mine, but I guess, I mean, mine's the one that's been through all the stuff. Oh, I forget, it's my body that said, so yeah, harder for me. But I'm just so grateful that Craig is doing pretty well. So yes, I should say that. One light thing is that Craig, he started going back to church. And I think he's had two or three Sundays. And it was shocking for him. It was beautiful. It was such a relief to be back with our people, our community, our place where we belong in this place. so he has to wear a mask and he has to kind of sit off to the side. Um, it's just hard, y'all. Coming back and not being able to be with people and do. But Craig, it's huge what he's getting to do. And he also gets to go and meet with people during the week out at places. And he's just careful, wears his mask. And, but takes his mask off and eats. If he's having lunch, he had lunch with the elders, and he's just so enjoying being in relationship again here. So Shadow. I have to stay home by myself for church, and it's been tough. Maybe it has only been twice that he went. Yeah. And the first time for me, it was kind of okay. I geared up and all. This time, I was kind of dreading it, but I went walking. It was beautiful outside, brisk and sunny. And during the sermon, I kept it in my ears and I went walking. And but our church service, it's just lovely and communal, and it's about not quite 2 hours long, but it's that long. And so being at home alone, trying to participate for 2 hours gets challenging. Feeling a little lonely, can feel sorry for myself, especially because what are my prospects? So I will fill you in a little on that. But first, before I go back to Shadow, let's see. I wrote down in my journal that just this past Sunday, during my participating online with One Hope, I felt the impetus to sing as loud as I could on certain songs, and to stretch my arms out and to raise my hands. And I didn't really do that. I did maybe a little of that when Craig and I would worship together. Not as exuberant, but it was like I will proclaim this. I will. Yes, I do love the Lord, or whatever the song was. I can't think of any of the songs we did, but I just needed to. I had to. I felt so weak and it was helpful. Yes. And doggone it. So anyway, as far as so the shadow I was going to mention was that we met with my Dallas oncologist. He came to Longview. He comes once a month, and that's about how often I need to meet with him. I can do telehealth if we need another one. Anyway, he said, just don't be in crowds for about a year. And I thought I was going to die. And I said, oh, but church is a crowd. And he said, just, arrive late and leave early. I think I might have mentioned that before, that that's what we were told. And for a year, I thought this might be 3 months, maybe get through the flu season. You know, down here in the South in March, things are starting to look better. I don't know, I'm so mad, as Dr. Vance said, oh, with COVID now and all these things, you know, we don't have such distinct seasons of cold and flu anymore. It can still be continuing on in May in the summer. So I can just feel so trapped with that kind of talk. And I have to be careful not to slip into shadow, damn it. Sorry, wanted to keep this clean. But I don't know. He ended up saying, listen, maybe I'll sound different in March and April. Please, please, please. So, you know, I just thought, if I could actually be inside the building with all those bodies praying and worshiping and sharing our prayer requests and all the things that we do, even though I can't actually have a conversation with anybody. Sorry. So mad. Maybe we can figure out how to, but I know I can't get sick. It's not gonna be great if I get sick. Anyway, so would y'all pray that God would do something really creative, that I could feel connected, like I can feel connected at a certain level going and participating. Oh my gosh, I mean, that would just be super changing, like 75% better. But where I could also feel, I mean, leaving early, can you imagine how sad for me, walking out the building by myself? Anyway, this is just so hard. I have to endure. Endurance is part of what God calls us to. And he has promised that he would be with us and that he would be doing something really good in me through it. I'm just so longing for communal life where you share the hardships and the joys. But listen to this light. Okay, but he also shockingly said that our kids and grandkids can come and actually stay with us in our house for Christmas. OMG. And we were like, well, we have some friends who have a house down the street who've offered it because they're going to be gone. And he was like, well, I mean, if you want to do that, if you think they should stay there, you know, if you'd feel better, that's fine. And I was like, well, no, if you don't think so. And then we were like, well, maybe like the ones who are flying, maybe they should quarantine there for a couple of days. And he's like, I mean, if they're not sick. And we were like, but people get sick. And he's like, well, I know. So if you feel better. So the plan is, I think, that Ben and Hannah are going to quarantine for a day or two at the house, but they'll get to come to our house wearing masks. Maybe I'll wear a mask too. Yes, probably so. But we're going to be together. They're going to come a few days before Christmas. We're going to be together on Christmas. And cuddling. He said we can cuddle. Oh my gosh. It's just a dream. dream. Oh my gosh. Oh. So that was very encouraging. It carried me for a few days, and then I started realizing all the stuff I can't do. But the stupid sick season, I don't know. He said that we could have a few people for company sometimes, and that Craig and I could go to a restaurant. He said, just remember COVID. I mean, during COVID, we did restaurants. You just had to wear a mask in, and I guess everybody else is being a lot more careful, though. We have to go when it's not crowded. Anyway, okay, so that's, I don't know. I hope you were wondering about all that, because that's a lot of detail. Now, as far as my physical status and everything, I'm sure you're wondering. I wish I could know what your questions might be. A lot of people ask, don't you need to be around, doesn't your immune system need to be exposed to things in order to strengthen? And we asked Dr. Vance that, and he said, no, not really. What it really needs is to recover. And so it's just the whole, killing the old one and resurrecting it, and there's recovery. That's what he said, recovery. It's just weak. It's weak. So, he's like, I mean, is it probable that you could end up in the ICU if you get sick? No, very low chance, but you could. So, during this holiday season, we're just going to be very quarantined. For me, I will be, because there's just a lot of people sick. And let me think. Let me think. My mouth sores are all healed up. I am so grateful for that. I'm trying to think. Top down. But the weirdest thing, my teeth are so cold sensitive. It's just weird. It's not fun. Our old house has such cold water in the winter, and the hot water in our bathroom, it's a trickle. It takes literally about 10 minutes to get some, and then it's just a trickle. So I've got this cold water for brushing my teeth, and it hurts. So that's crazy. That's the weirdest thing. I kept thinking it would maybe go away around the same timing with the mouth sores. Who knows why? It hasn't yet, but I'm still hoping it's going to go away. Let's see. My stomach is I'd love it to get even better, but it's so good. I mean, I can eat. I'm pretty much kind of in a rut right now, but I have hearty toast with tons of butter and big, huge 2 glasses of milk for breakfast. And then I have buttery, it's like the same thing. You health snobs, you're gonna be judging me, but it's the truth. It is what it is. I have grilled cheese and tomato soup for lunch, and I put tons of butter on the bread and lots of cheese, and it's delicious tomato soup. And I love it. I love it every lunch. So at least I enjoy those 2 meals. My snack gets a little iffy, but I don't know how to have protein. So I was eating like an avocado with chips, because that was a good amount of calories and fat, healthy fat. But so I get in these ruts where it's like, well, this is working. My stomach and my brain say, yeah, I can do that. That sounds really good. And then dinners, I try to branch out and see what my brain and stomach might do. So we had chili and Fritos and cheese and sour cream. And the chili, I ate it. The first night was a little touch and go, but anyway, and I made jambalaya. I made a jambalaya. Yep, I cooked. Craig made the chili. I made the jambalaya. What else did we eat lately that we cooked? So we're cooking again. When we were in Dallas, we mostly ordered food out. And it feels so great to be cooking. It feels homey and like real life, and it's great. My stomach still gets a little like, it's not happy. And I don't get the same kind of hunger as I did before scleroderma started everything rolling, and then all the chemo. So I would so love to have it back, where I used to just get these healthy hungers going, and I would know, I need to eat, and I would eat until I was full, and then I would stop, and it was just fine. And now it's just like I have to force myself to eat a lot, and it's just going to be a job for a while, because I'm still needing to gain, I don't know, 15 more pounds. But I'm back to the weight to before the hospital. Told y'all that maybe already. And that feels it's quite a cushion. It feels really good. So I would love to keep gaining weight. I mean, it needs to take a few months. I think it wouldn't be healthy to gain 15 pounds in a week. So basically my energy level it seemed really pretty good when I got home, and maybe I'm just expecting more now, but I've had a few days where I just couldn't get up and go. I mean, I just didn't want to do anything. Just felt meh. So my blood counts ended up going way down, my white blood cell. And we found out on Friday when I saw my oncologist and my labs, and that's not good. So he had to take me off this medication he had put me on to protect my lungs. You just don't know all the stuff that needs to be done. But anyway, so he took me off of that, and I had to take a couple of new medications and a shot to help me boost my white blood cells. But the others could have gotten low, but they didn't get low enough to need transfusions, which was really nice. But I have been back and forth to Texas Oncology Thursday, Friday, and today, like there a lot, most of the days. But one of those things was I had a PET scan Thursday. They do it after everything is done, and kind of assume, but don't assume, that's why they're doing it, that it'll be clear, and it was clear of all cancer. So that's a real praise, right? Everybody's excited. It doesn't really sink into me. It's like I already assumed, I guess. But anyway, so praise God. My gosh. So anyway, energy level, it's hard when I'm just groggy, like all morning today. I was just, and it that negative junk, just the fog comes in, and it's harder because I don't have the focus to do anything really that would help me. I mean, I can move around and do laundry and stuff like that, which is a huge blessing. I can do pretty much anything, I mean, I don't know, not really hard, rigorous body things, because I'll tell you in a minute. But anyway, but still, as I'm doing those things, cleaning the kitchen, doing the laundry, I am, all that junk's in my head, and it's hard. Anyway, okay, okay. One of the hardest things right now physically is that I got back problems when I got home. I can't remember if it had just maybe started back in Dallas, which would help me to know whether it's my mattress. But it's so frustrating. I was so motivated to walk lots and to build my strength that way, and to do some yoga, but mostly walking. And I have two different backaches, and they're limiting, and it's very frustrating. So that is another thing, please, to pray that God will heal those up. I mean, golly. Okay, this is going on too long. I need to go have my dinner. Let's see. I think, okay, the other thing physically is just the scleroderma. It can really challenge me, get me down. But I've been in touch with my rheumatologist, and she said it could take several months for things to change. So I'm trying to hold out for that. It's just that there are things that just seem like they're hard scar tissue, and it would be, to me, supernatural intervention for those to change. My knees are so stiff, and of course my hands. I mean, it's tough. And then my skin is so weird. My skin is just so weird. I'm so weirdly colored. It's like I have cellophane over me. I'm, my skin sloughs off. I'm all dotted red. My face has changed, and I still grieve that. And I need to quit grieving it. But that's silly. I guess you quit grieving it when you're done. But, it's when I see pictures of myself before, and I think, oh, that was me. And then I say, no, this is me. God made me me. And it's our spirits that come out of us that make a difference in this world. And that's really, what we want is light. Light coming from us. And it doesn't matter whether my mouth was different. I mean, I really hope, sometimes I really believe that, but it's tough. So, let's see. Okay, I want to wrap up with, I just will now tell y'all what this is. It's like it's huge in my life or something, but it's really a new book for me. Our women in our church are doing this. It's an Advent devotional. And I wasn't there to hear our leaders talk about why they chose it or anything, but I trust them. And it's so pretty, isn't it? It's a hardback. I've done only 2 of the day's devotionals. And, you know, it's not a deep dive or anything, but it's nice. It's, yeah, it's very doable. It's very doable if you're busy, like, you know, but you'd like to have something to follow each day during Advent, which is that time leading up to Christmas, a preparation to prepare for Jesus coming. Excuse me. And so, anyway, today, the scripture was Psalm 4, 5 through 8, and it says, okay, and something that they say that just like was a little shift for me. It says, pray Psalm 4, 5 through 8. Pray Psalm 4, 5 through 8. So I think sometimes I'm reading it and I'm kind of like, oh, what did that say to those people back then, and what might it say to me now, or something? And I'm kind of analyzing it a little bit. But to pray it is to go like this, like from my heart. I'm going, yes, it's a yes. Offer right sacrifices. And this kind of motivated my, yes, the singing. Offer right sacrifices and put your trust in the Lord. And I'm thinking this to myself, like, yes, there are many who say, oh, that we might see some good. Let the light of your face shine on us, O Lord. You have put gladness in my heart, more than when their grain and wine abound. I will both lie down and sleep in peace. For you alone, O Lord, make me lie down in safety. So I prayed it, like, instead of like thinking of how this works out in all the believers' lives, and that's what's been happening in my brain, to just affirm it. And so today, like all day, I've thought, you have put gladness in my heart. Put gladness in my heart. Please, Lord, put gladness in my heart. So, yeah, I should go. I didn't know this would be this long, but I hope it's a blessing to you. I would love to know, to sit down and have a cup of tea, although I don't drink coffee or tea right now. It's very sad. Sit down and, yeah, over a cup of something and just hear and be with you. I hope you're doing well. May the Lord give us all shalom, well-being, because he loves us and because we trust in him. Bye.